What's up? Walio here. I'm giving a little insight into my process of how I start a design before I start a painting. And like any other artist, I spend a lot of time looking for the perfect reference photo to start a design. Hours, way too long sometimes. Sometimes I do find the perfect image, and it's not quite perfect because it's such low quality. Not that this is a terrible quality picture, but you'll see if I zoom in to an area, you can see it's all pixelated. Now, this is okay if I wasn't going to be blowing this up onto a huge canvas when I'm done, but my last two canvases are 3 feet by 4 feet. This one I'm gonna go at least that size, if not bigger. I'm not sure yet. I'll show you the design that I have completed. It's a little scary for a large painting. Once I am ready to begin, I don't want to be too intimidated sitting in front of a giant canvas. But I think this painting would look really good if I went really big with it. So what I want to look at today is what can we do to fix an image that has very low resolution. This takes a long time to do, but if you found the perfect image and all it needs is, a little bit higher resolution and that's not available, what we can do is put it in Procreate, go to our smudging tool. I just use a round brush because that's the easiest. You can control the size of it over here. And I will go through almost the entire image. And just kind of feather all these pixels together. And it might still look a little sloppy while you're zoomed in on it, but when I zoom back out, you will see that the resolution looks a lot better compared to other areas that haven't been touched yet. Mind you, I've already gone through a good portion of this piece and done this, but see this edge, how it's all blocky? When I go to put that onto a canvas with a projector, I will see every one of those pixels almost like the way that I'm seeing it right now because of how big I'm going to make this. And I don't want that. I want to see nice, smooth edges. Nice, smooth edges that I can easily trace, easily follow. I won't get lost while I'm trying to trace. And this will give you a crisper image and kind of simplify your stencil when you go to put it on the canvas. You won't have to block out as much shapes. It just makes the whole thing easier to follow. And it's not easy to do. It takes some time. Take some practice. A lot of times I do make mistakes and I have to undo a bunch and then redo. But we're just dragging all the pixels around and blending them together. It's a lot of little clicky tappy noises. If there's anyone around you while you're doing this, they will get annoyed. That's for sure. And this is a technique I've been using for probably a few months now, I kind of realized that after searching and searching and searching for the right photo, when I couldn't find one that was so close to what I wanted in a higher resolution, I realized that I could kind of work with what I have. Now, this might still look kind of sloppy, but you'll see when I zoom out on this now, that looks really clean compared to if I zoom in to this, it's all pixelated again. So I can do the same thing. Just smooth the pixels out. And now I'm going from all these, blocked out areas. When I say blocked out, I mean literally squares, to we're just gonna smooth it and blend it. Bring some of that black back over the top of it. Hit this edge here. Bring this edge up. We'll hit this bottom. And a lot of times where you have like little short areas or bursts of color, you just want to do short, choppy steps. You want to treat it exactly how the image is, whatever the image is doing, that's what you want to follow. Always go with the direction of the lines. The smudging tool works pretty good. So an area like this, I could even make it just a little bit bigger. And just a couple swipes across. You can go back and forth with it, follow the direction. And when I zoom out, now that looks like a fucking piece of wood instead of a bunch of pixels. Again, you zoom back in, it's still pixels. You can still see some areas where I didn't quite hit it. It's still really, blocky. But then other areas, they're a lot smoother. Now, it's not, you don't have to hit every single area, but now that I zoomed in on that one spot's kind of bothering me, so I can just come in, just smooth it out a little. When you zoom out, let's compare it to this one over here, it just looks smoother. If I zoom in on this, I may have actually done a little bit over here already, but not enough. Because I know that these columns were one of the things that was really bothering me when I zoomed in on them. So this is just one technique that I've kind of picked up and figured out how to, be able to use the images that I find, even if they're not the best images. Like I said, it takes a long time to do, but if you have an image you love and it just, needs a little bit more work to get it to the point where you can actually use it, I think that is time better spent than, spending another hour, 2 hours, searching all different places for, a photo that's gonna look any better than this. If this is the photo I want, and I know I can make this work for the painting that I want, the composition, the lighting, and everything, why am I gonna keep searching? It's like this. So you can see I hit this line. I can do this one now, because if I go in close, it's real blocky. Zoom back out, you can see just from here to there, you can see the difference. Now, certain things in the background, like this stuff, in my painting, it's not gonna be super detailed back here. Plus, I'll show you the final design in a second where I've actually added like a bunch of graffiti and stuff over here. So this doesn't need to be perfect, but you can see just a little bit of time here. This will be a good example because it's this particular detail in the molding on the wall is surrounded by pieces that look similar to it. So it should stand out really well against the other details. Let's see when I zoom out on that now. You see how that one that I just did looks better than the ones next to it? It looks smoother, it looks more realistic, and you can see the pixels. So that is my little insight to my process and a trick that I learned. And you see this here, this is actually, I added that on top of this image, so I couldn't remove it without erasing the whole thing and starting over. At that point I had already done a bunch of blending on it. And for this one, I don't normally do this, but all my edits to this, I added to its own group so that I could quickly toggle on and off what I will be making this into. And I'll show you that now. I added a bird's nest with some goop dripping out of it onto the record player. Put the bird there. And then just a bunch of graffiti in the back, graffiti on the record player, graffiti on the credenza thing back here. And you know, none of this will look exactly this way in the painting, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get it close. I don't know. It's gonna be a pretty difficult one depending on how big I decide to go with it. So anyways, thanks. I hope this was helpful. Let me know. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to see more educational stuff versus me just chopping up a bunch of videos of me painting and throwing some music over it. And you know, if this is helpful, if people like this, I would love to do more stuff like this. And you know, also let me know if you have any tricks or insight onto what I'm doing, if you know an easier way, a better way. Feel free to share. Peace.